Good afternoon on what is a bright, breezy and sunny day. It is Saturday, October the 30th. I am back in the reading nook with a parcel and a nice hot cup of tea. So I'm going to unbox this. Let's have a look. It's fairly well secured, so open, and I'm going to look what's in here. Okay, I'm hoping this is not it. I really am. So let's just grab the knife, because if it is, I'm really going to be disappointed. And the thing is, so are you. Because, you know, in the best way in the world, I could do basically unbox. There we go. Oh, that's got it. I could box an expandable cutlery drawer from Dunelm Mill from its cookshop range. I could. But I'm not going to, I mean, you know, it would be really boring for you and it would be boring for me. Oh, so hold on. I have packing chips. Let's get, there is, okay, let's see if I can get this out without, there is something in here which is interesting, I promise you. So I'm just going to do it without spilling packing chips everywhere, because they're a pain to pick up. I do apologise because this is taking longer than it should, but here we go. You're really getting an unboxing here. Okay. Almost there. Almost there. And I did spill some packing chips, so I'll just pick those up and put them back in the box because I don't want them everywhere in the garden. So what we've got, just to show you, is that might give you a hint, and if I show you that'll give you an even bigger hint. So let's get this unboxed even further, because that's what you're here to see. And what we have here is Gamma World science fiction role-playing game from TSR, and this is from 1983. Step into Gamma World, science fantasy role-playing game from TSR Hobbies. Gamma World science fiction role-playing game is a complete adventure game for 2 or more players, and a game master set against the backdrop of imaginary future America. Based on one of TSR's most popular games, the all-new edition includes expanded mutation equipment and NPC descriptions, rewritten and reorganized basic rules, and a full set of previously unpublished campaign rules. Included in the box is a 22 by 34 full-color map sheet containing 3 beautiful maps used in play, a 64-page basic rules booklet containing everything you need to know to go adventuring in Gamma World, a 32-page adventure booklet containing a complete adventure to get you started with step-by-step instructions for designing your adventures and campaigns, and a set of 6 dice. Now, okay, here's the back. So you've got the 2 books, the maps, and the dice. And look, a crayon. Remember the time when when dice came uninked and you had a crayon and you had to fill? Yeah, that really happened. So inside, what have we got? Okay, the first thing that's missing is the dice. I don't mind, but everything really looks kind of nice in here. This looks really well looked after, and you can tell by the box it's a little bit faults on the corner, but I mean that's standard kind of use. So we'll open up. Let's have a look. Basic rules book, adventure booklet, maps. Let's just see, is that everything complete? Yes, it is. So okay, let's just put that there so I don't want anything slip and fall. So we have the core rule book. Okay, 64 pages, and on the back the index, so everything is easy to find. And we've got plenty of action here. The player characters look kind of strange, and you're facing up against some kind of horsed warrior that's probably got mutant powers. And inside, I remember this because I remember this. I photocopied a complete copy of this. So I'd have a copy of the rules, which was wrong of me, I know, but it was 1984. Mine 1986 or something like that. So here we go. Nice classic piece of illustration which people will recognise from Gamma World. That's been used a few times. And there's a bit of a stain there, but how honestly, it's in nice condition. I'm not going to complain. And we go on to how to play and learning to play, how to use the rules and so on. Looking at character types, so we have pure strain humans, humanoids, who are the mutants, mutated animals, as options, and then we basically how to create a character. And there's basically the different players, Ted Cook, Chef Brown, they're creating characters, and you've got a complete example in there. And it's all a bit plain and simple, but it's easy to read. Everything's bold. There's actually quite a lot of bold in here if you look at it. When you look at the particular sections, read the text, and it's in serif font, which is not necessarily my favourite. And we have Bonaparte, basically the leader of the mutated animals. That's one of the factions in the setting. And then we get into mutations, and there's a lengthy table of basic lists of mutations. We'll see if there's a table of them, how many you get. I can't see one, but I'm sure there might be one somewhere. So lengthy list of mutations, starting with classics like absorption and actual metamorphosis, adaptation, allurement, and so on. Anti-charisma, because some of these are defects as well. You have a mix of both. And essentially, this is probably would be the third iteration, essentially, of a game that would have been first seen in Starship. Oh God, I forget. Okay, Metamorphosis Alpha, which came out 77, 76, and that it was set aboard a giant, basically, generation ship, colony ship, and goes off course and gets affected by radiation, and nobody knows what the ship is like. And you're basically, because the character's kind of Stone Age level, and you go and investigate and gain technology and explore and so on, and discovers the secret of the Warden. And again, that idea was transposed to Gamma World, which was set on Earth following a post-apocalyptic world. I've done a review of the first edition, which was 1978, and then I've not done a review of this version. And in the past, I've done reviews of the basically the 5th edition, which and I could debate about which is the 5th edition. I think no, it would have been the 6th edition, because that would have been for the D20 system version from White Wolf Games, or basically their D20 system imprint, and that was kind of an updating and a modernisation of the setting. And then I've done a version of the Gamma World box set, reviews the box sets for the 7th edition, which used Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition rules, which I would actually really like to play. It's meant to be bonkers. I reviewed it and it looks bonkers. Always anything kind of based on Gamma World is kind of a little bit bonkers, and none more so in its probably its most modern incarnation, which is Mutant Crawl Classics from Goodman Games. Guys, I've reviewed all of their scenarios and the core book, and they're a lot of fun to play. So yes, lots of different mutations in here, and then equipment, time and distance, that sort of thing. And this is all very plain, I have to say. Okay, and we've got basically time, distance, essentially action turns, and we're dealing with combat there. How to search, how to move, when to check for surprise, how to have encounters, NPC reactions, hiring and recruiting NPCs. Oh, when I say it's not perfect, because there's a loose page, okay? Because essentially the staples have rusted. So, but otherwise it's in nice condition. I'm not complaining too much. Okay, and then it's talking about artifacts. Now, one of the interesting things is in the setting, and in all of the settings, is that you don't player characters will pick up an object, an artifact, and not know what it is, and they've got to work out what it is, and sometimes that will get them killed, or it will destroy destroy the item, or it will get not themselves killed, but another member of the another member of the party. That happens. You're dealing with things essentially that you don't know about. Press the wrong button, oops, blam, basically Two Eyes McGrath, who you've been adventuring with, is dead. And when we get onto monsters, and here we have classic creatures that appeared in Gamma World, and for things like the Arcs, and the Badders, and then everybody's favourite, where are we? The Hoops, or Flopsies. And they're basically leptoidal creatures who are really, really mean. So extensive list of creatures, and then we get cryptic alliances, and that's one of the factions elements of the game. Wasn't particularly present in the first edition. In the second edition, you've got different factions. The Brotherhood of Thought specialises in psionics. Knights of Genetic Purity they stamp out all humanoids. They don't like mutants whatsoever, so on. We've got a section of robots at the end, because you can encounter all types of robots, not just humanoid ones. You can basically robots we put on every use, about harvest robots, cleaning robots. They all feature, and they can all go weird. And that's about it. And there's the character sheet. Very plain, very simple, in keeping with the game. So next we have the adventure booklet. And we have the map, see the little map on the front, and the Karen Stronghold on the back, and inside we have the Frick Building main floor, which is basically location. There we go, classic fold out kind of style, and we've got a sight of an ambush there as well, the little ambush, and inside we've got the Gamma World adventure booklet and rite of passage, and the idea is essentially that you're about to become an adult, go out, forage, come back with an artifact, prove yourself. And you can see that again and again in Gamma World. That's the classic setup. Okay, you're part of a tribe, you go out, you become an adult, you prove yourself with an artifact, and you go understanding, you go out and do it again and again, and then we go for the location is marching through Allegheny. And the area essentially is Pittsburgh, so you're exploring basically a bombed out city several centuries after the apocalypse, and you've got various adventures, and it describes essentially it's Pittsburgh, two separate words, and you've got different adventure locations. So there's a bit of a sandbox effect, and again it's very plain. The very little artwork, very plain in here. The artwork is all saved for the monsters. And then we've got a section on the end on designing adventures, including designing your settings, stopping the target, charts and tables. So you've actually got the mutation table here, and the chart, and poison matrix for and radiation matrices, encounter tables, physical attacks, mental attacks, and so on. They're all in there for reference by the Game Master. So that's the adventure book, and then lastly we've got the maps, so let's dig those out. So what we've got here is so here's a map. Okay, it's a big map. You've got a big map of Pittsburgh there. I can't get out quite far enough to really show you all of it. And on the other side you've got a map of the future America. There we go, bombed out state. And I can show you, I can fold this down. And it's three maps, it's basically three maps on a large poster map. And this is the area location map, and you've got Pittsburgh down there, which is what the players were exploring, and essentially this brown area is this is where the adventure takes place. So how's that fold? That folds like that. So that's the Gamma World. That's essentially, I think that's the second or third edition of the game. I can never quite remember the differences on Gamma World, but this is the first edition that I would have seen, and I like this a lot. I mean, it's a fun game. It's tongue in cheek. It's a fun setting. It's bonkers, and it's over the top essentially because it's not the dreary post-apocalyptic game where you're desperate survival and you've got people running around driving around on scavenged vehicles and so on. The Mad Max setting, it's a bit weirder than that, and if that's your thing, it's great. I really do like this. But I like the other one as well. I mean, I do like post-apocalyptic games in general. It's a genre I enjoy playing in. So yeah, Gamma World science fantasy role-playing game, 1983. I will do a review of this at some point. It may well not be for a while because I may well do an anniversary review of this. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, please do click the like button down below, and of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do take the time to read them and I appreciate you posting them. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me back here with a package, definitely not containing, and I've just spilled all those out, an expandable cutlery tray, but a game or a book, which I will talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so. All, of course, accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.